let's start the session today. So today I am going to discuss about correction of errors. Okay, so prior to that we discuss about trial balance. What is a trial balance? Yes, what is a trial balance?
A trial balance is you get the balances from the ledger.
Yes.
And you transfer it into the trial balance to see
with the debits and credits
are equal,
matching. Okay, so that is the purpose of preparing a trial balance. It's not a financial statement.
Yeah.
So financial statements are prepared based on the trial balance. So what we do is, when you prepare the trial balance, you extract all the ledger balances and you just put it in the trial balance on the debit and the credit side, and you see whether the debits and credits are balancing. The accuracy of the double entry system we check. That is the purpose of preparing a trial balance, to see the accuracy of the double entry system. So under correction of errors, so when you prepare trial balance, so you might come across some differences, okay, some errors. Due to certain errors, the trial balance will not balance. But under this heading, there are two types of errors that we are going to discuss. So what are those two types? First one, errors not affecting the balancing of trial balance. So this is the first part that we are going to discuss. The second part is errors that will affect the balancing of trial balance. Errors that will affect the balancing of trial balance. So these are the two types of errors that we need to cover under this chapter. Okay, so when you take this particular errors, so when you prepare the trial balance will balance, but you will not identify those errors. Okay, so what are those errors? There are 7 types of errors. Okay, so that we will study. This is a shortened form where you can remember the errors not affecting the balancing of trial balance. So what is the first one? The first one is errors of transposition. The first one is errors of transposition. Errors of transposition. Okay, what does it mean? What does transposition mean? What do you mean by that? For example, let's say now you are purchasing an item. Okay, so when you purchase, let's say the purchase cost is $123. You understand? You record it as 321. So you are purchasing, so purchaser's account will be debited. Let's say you have a creditor. So instead of, this is the actual invoice value. Instead of recording 123, okay, by mistake you have recorded as 321. So actually when you extract this balance to the trial balance will balance. But when it comes to the actual value of the transaction, okay, which is incorrect. You understand? So therefore these kind of errors will not be identified when you prepare the trial balance. You understand? Probably how you will identify these kind of errors. Probably your supplier might call you, and he might call and he will ask for the outstanding balance. So when you pull out the invoice to make the payment, so you will identify, okay, so the invoice is 123, whereas I have recorded it as 321. Then only he will realize that the mistake that he has done, the accountant. You understand? So when you record the amount incorrectly, but to the correct account, and the double entry is also correct. Your double entry is correct and the account is correct, but the amount is incorrect. So these kind of errors are known as transposition errors. Okay, so you can take down this errors of transposition. So second one is errors of original entry. What does it mean? That means which is similar to the transposition error. For, let's say you purchased an item for $270, whereas you have recorded it as $27. The original entry is 270, whereas you have recorded it as 27, which is similar to the transposition error. Okay, so this is known as errors of original entry. Let's say you paid electricity expenses. So your electricity expenses is 270, whereas you debit the electricity expenses as 27, and probably let's say your cash book, you credit your cash book 27. You understand? So therefore the entry that you have entered will balance the trial balance, whereas the amount that you have entered in the double entry system is incorrect. You understand? So this is known as errors of original entry. So we'll move on to the next one. Take down this.
Yeah, I took it.
You took down? Okay. The next one is errors of principle. Okay. This one is, the third one is errors of principle. What do you mean by that? Principle error. What does it mean?
Wrong double entry.
Wrong double entry means, let's say, now we have different classes of assets. You have assets, you have expenses, okay, you have revenue, you have liabilities, okay, different classes of accounts. Now principal error means, let's say you are purchasing an asset, you are purchasing a motor vehicle. By mistake, you categorize, you record this particular transaction as an expense. Instead of recording as an asset, you record this as an expense. So what will happen? For example, let's say you bought a car for $50,000. So when you purchase a car, it's an asset. If it is an asset, what you should do? What is the treatment?
For car account you should debit, and then cash account you should credit.
Credit, okay. So that should be the correct way, no?
Yeah.
So you will debit your car account, motor vehicle, and your cash or bank account will be credited.
Yeah.
Okay, 50,000, 50,000. And where you will show this? The car account, where you will show this? In the financial position, in the balance sheet, as an asset. So this will not be deducted against your income. To calculate the profit and loss account, to calculate the profit or loss, you will not deduct this car. Instead of that, what you will charge to income statement? For assets we discuss?
Depreciation.
Depreciation. Okay. So what you will charge to profit and loss account is the depreciation. Probably let's say this is this car can be used for 5 years, so you will charge 10,000, no? So 50,000 divided by 5, that will be 10,000. 10,000 will be charged to the profit and loss account. Instead of charging this to car motor vehicle account, when you charge this to repairs, motor vehicle repairs and maintenance, 50,000, what will happen? This will be charged against your revenue. Instead of charging this purchases of a motor vehicle 50,000 to motor vehicle account, if you charge this to repairs and maintenance account, it's a principal error. Okay, so instead of recognizing as an asset, you are recognizing as an expense. So what will happen? Your profit will come down, no, by 50,000. So if you had recognized this as an asset, how much you will charge to the profit and loss account? Income statement, the depreciation amount, the 10,000. Only 10,000 will be charged to the income statement when you calculate the profit. Whereas if you charge this to the repairs and maintenance, the 50,000 will be charged. So therefore your profit will go down. It will be understated. You understand? So these kind of errors are known as errors of principle. In this example, you purchased a car 50,000. So this has to be recorded under motor vehicle asset account. If you charge it to repairs and maintenance, it's a principal error. You understand? So these kind of errors are known as errors of principle. The next error will be complete reversal of entries. Reversal of entries. Complete reversal. Complete reversal of entries. What does it mean? The amount is correct and also the account is correct, but yes, your double entry is incorrect. So that is known as reversal of entries. Errors of reversal of entries. Okay. For example, let's say you purchased goods. So you will debit your purchases account and you should credit your bank account when you purchased. So let's say you purchased 100,000 worth of goods. So what is the correct entry? You should debit your purchases account and you should credit your bank account. That should be the double entry. But under this error, what you will do, you credit your purchases and you debit your bank account. It's a complete reversal. So you credit here and you debit here, the bank account. So anyway, the trial balance will balance because the double entry is correct. You debited one account and you credited another account. So therefore the trial balance will balance. But when you take the bank balance, it's not correct. Because you have debited, instead of paying, you have paid 100,000, but you debited your bank account. You understand? So this is a complete reversal of entry. So these kind of errors are known as reversal of entries. So what is the next entry? This one is known as omission. Errors of omission. What does it mean? Omission means you completely omit a particular transaction. So you forget to record a particular transaction.
Okay.
So you had several invoices but one particular invoice missed. You did not record it. Okay, completely you have omitted. So these kind of errors are known as errors of omission. So will it affect balancing of the trial balance? It will not affect, no? Because you have completely omitted the transaction.
Yeah.
Next one is errors of commission. Okay, so that means commission, errors of commission means wrong account. When a correct amount is entered but in the wrong person's account or wrong account. Okay, what does it mean? When a correct amount is entered but in the wrong person's account. Okay, it can happen, no? So for example, errors of commission. So let's say you had a supplier called R. Roger. So you made a payment to this particular supplier. Instead of crediting this supplier, you credited to R. Robert. You understand? Similar name, no? R. Roger, but you credited to R. Robert. So how you will come to know that you have made a mistake? Because in fact R. Rogers paid. So if you have not credited this account, still the amount is outstanding from this particular supplier. So you will keep calling the supplier. Then supplier will say, okay, I made the payment. Why you are calling me? So then you go through your accounts, records, and you find out that there is a mistake that you have done. Instead of crediting the Rogers account, you credited the Roberts account. Okay? So completely you have the double entry is correct. So you credited debited your credited your bank account here, you debited the supply account. The entry is correct, double entry is correct. However, it was recorded in the wrong account. The last one is compensating errors. What does it mean? That means two or more errors are cancelled off by two other errors. You understand? So you made an error. You made an error. Okay? But there is another error that you have made. Both will compensate each other, so that you will not come across any errors when you prepare the trial balance. You understand? So compensating error means, what is compensating error? Compensating error means you made a mistake. There is an error. So that error will be compensated by another error. You understand? For example, let's take an example. So let's say you have a purchases amounting to 11,000, and also you have a revenue 13,000. Okay? So when you extract these balances to the trial balance, so you need to extract the correct amount. So when you take the trial balance, you have debit side and the credit side. Okay? So purchases, how much you have to show on the debit side? 11,000. Instead of taking it as 11,000, you took it as 10,000. And in the same way, the revenue. So you should have taken this 13,000 to the trial balance. Instead of 13,000, you took it as 12,000. So what has happened here? Your debit side is less by 1,000. Why? The actual amount should be 11,000, whereas you took it as 10,000. So your debit side is less by 1,000. And also the revenue, 13,000, you took it as 12,000. So credit side is also less by 1,000. You understand? So one error is compensated by another error. However, the trial balance will balance. It will match. You understand? So these kind of errors are known as compensating errors. So shall we recap what we have discussed here? So under correction of errors, there are two types of errors. Okay? So what are the errors that we have classified? The first classification is
Not affecting.
errors not affecting the balancing of the trial balance. The other classification is errors that will affect the trial balance. Okay? So not affecting the trial balance, there are about 7 errors. Okay? So this is the easiest way to remember those errors. So how you can remember this? Top rock. Something like that. Okay? So what is the first one?
Transposition.
Errors of transposition. What does it mean?
Putting the wrong
Yes.
amount
Yes. So the actual balance,
is 123, but
Yeah.
you put it as 3.
actual invoice value is 123, whereas you recorded it as 321. Your account is correct, account type is correct, okay, but the double entry is correct, but the amount that you have recorded is incorrect. Instead of 123, you recorded it as 321. What is errors of original entry?
The same thing,
Yeah,
but then
so you have not recorded the original amount.
original.
For example, the original amount is 260, you recorded it as 26. So what is principal error? Errors of principal?
Putting it to a wrong account. For example, your car, you purchase a car, but you put the balance in a repair, like an expense account.
Expense account. Okay. So motor vehicle, purchases of motor vehicle, you recorded it as repairs and maintenance of motor vehicle. So this is known as principal error, because you are purchasing an asset, whereas you are recording it as an expense. So as a result of that, what will happen? Your profit will reduce because you are charging the full amount. Under repairs and maintenance, you are charging the full amount. So therefore, the profit will reduce. This is a principal error. Reversal of entries.
Switching the entries.
Yes. So the double entry is completely not correct.
Not correct.
Okay. So instead of debiting and crediting one particular account, you are reversing the entry. Opposite of the particular entry. Errors of omission.
Forgetting to record
Yes.
the
So particular transaction is completely omitted from the books of accounts. So you will not identify those kind of errors. Okay. Errors of commission. What is errors of commission?
entering in the wrong account.
Entering in the wrong person's account.
Yeah, wrong person's
Wrong account or wrong person's account. Instead of recording it under R. Rogers' account, you record it under R. Roberts' account. It's a completely wrong account. The double entry is correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Compensating errors.
An error is backed up by another error.
Another error. So these errors are known as errors which will not affect the balancing of the trial balance. Okay. So what we will do is we will try to do some questions relating to this particular concept.